They say in Lagos, there are only two ways to survive. You either have the money or you have the audacity. And for Harriet, audacity was the only currency she had left. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a story called A Ride Forever. It's a tale about packaging, betrayal, and what happens when a simple gold-digging scheme turns into the most complicated job interview of a lifetime. Imagine waking up broke, hungry, and desperate, only to find yourself driving a luxury car for the man you robbed the night before. This is the story of how a one-night stand turned into a life sentence of love. Let's get into the movie. Our story begins in the trenches of the city. We meet Harriet, a stunning young woman who is currently fighting a war against poverty. She lives in a cramped apartment with her chaotic male best friend, a guy who talks a big game but has absolutely zero funds to back it up. Their morning routine isn't coffee and toast, it's arguing about money. They are down to their last naira, but Harriet has a philosophy: fake it until you make it. And tonight, she plans to fake it all the way to the bank. Harriet dresses up. She trades her house clothes for a stunning evening gown, paints on a face of high-class boredom, and heads to an upscale lounge. She isn't there to buy drinks. She's there to be bought. Her target? Solomon, a handsome, wealthy luxury car dealer who spots her from across the room. To Solomon, Harriet looks like a lecky babe, sophisticated, quiet, and refined. He approaches her, and Harriet flips the switch. She adopts a polished accent, lies about living in an exclusive estate, and pretends to be obsessed with Chelsea Football Club just to impress him. Solomon is hooked. He thinks he's found a woman of his own status. He has no idea he's flirting with a girl who is currently calculating the resale value of his shoes. The night goes well. Too well. Solomon invites her back to his mansion. For Harriet, walking into his house is like walking into a dream. The air conditioning is cold, the wine is expensive, and the furniture costs more than her entire life's rent. They spend the night together, and Solomon falls asleep thinking he's met his soulmate. But when the sun comes up, reality sets in. Solomon leaves early for a business meeting, leaving Harriet alone in the house. This is the moment of truth. A regular person might steal a bottle of perfume or some cash. But Harriet? She goes for the grand prize. In a move of pure ghetto brilliance, Harriet raids the kitchen, packing up frozen chickens and bags of rice. Then, she unplugs his massive flat-screen TV. She calls her friend, they load up the loot, and she even swipes Solomon's prized Rolex watch on her way out. She leaves the mansion empty and heads back to the slums, celebrating like she just won the lottery. Solomon returns home ready for a second date, but instead, he walks into a crime scene. His house echoes. His TV is gone. The girl is gone. He is heartbroken, yes, but more importantly, he is furious. Solomon uses his connections to track her down, and within hours, the police are kicking down Harriet's door. The packaging falls apart instantly. Harriet is dragged out in handcuffs, screaming, while her friend watches in horror. At the station, the facade is over. Harriet is no longer the classy dame. She is a terrified girl facing years in prison. Solomon demands his property back. She returns the TV and the groceries, but she lies about the watch, claiming it's already gone. Solomon looks at her, shivering, desperate, and broke. He could send her to jail, but he decides to do something far more interesting. He pulls out a contract. "You owe me 20 million naira," he says. "You can either go to jail or you can work it off." And just like that, Harriet becomes his personal driver. The movie shifts gears here. Harriet moves into Solomon's house, but this time she's sleeping in the guest room and wearing a uniform. The power dynamic is a disaster. Solomon is cold and demanding, determined to punish her for her deception. Harriet is stubborn and loud, struggling to keep her street side hidden in his corporate world. We see them driving through Lagos traffic. Every car ride is a battle. Solomon mocks her poverty. She mocks his uptight attitude. But as the days turn into weeks, something shifts. Harriet proves she isn't useless. When Solomon gets stuck in situations that require street smarts, like dealing with aggressive mechanics or thugs, Harriet steps in. She drops the polished accent and unleashes her inner Agbero, handling the chaos while Solomon watches in shock and admiration. He starts to see the real Harriet, not the fake socialite and not the criminal, but a girl who is resilient, funny, and fiercely loyal to the people she loves. The turning point comes during a high-stakes business deal. Solomon is trying to sell a rare luxury car to a difficult client who refuses to pay the asking price. Solomon is about to lose the deal. Harriet, watching from the sidelines, decides to intervene. She storms into the meeting, channeling her Lecky Babe persona one last time. She pretends to be a rival buyer, offering to pay cash on the spot. The real buyer panics, fearing he'll lose the car, and immediately signs the check. Harriet saves the day, and Solomon realizes that the very skills she used to rob him are the skills that make her brilliant. That night, the walls finally come down. Harriet, feeling guilty for his kindness, goes to her room and retrieves the stolen Rolex, the one she swore she didn't have. She hands it to him. It's a peace offering, a sign that she is done running. Solomon takes the watch, but he's looking at her. The anger is gone. But there is one final twist. Solomon does a background check and finds out why Harriet stole. Her father was in debt, about to lose their family land. She wasn't stealing for greed, she was stealing for survival. Without telling her, Solomon drives her to her father's village. When they arrive, her father greets them with tears of joy. He tells Harriet that a kind stranger has paid off all his debts. Harriet looks at Solomon, realizing he has saved her entire family. Overwhelmed, Harriet asks him why. Why save a thief? Solomon drops to one knee in the dust. He tells her that while she stole his TV and his watch, she committed a much bigger crime. She stole his heart. He doesn't want a driver anymore. He wants a partner to ride with forever. He proposes. Harriet says yes. The film ends with the couple driving off into the sunset. Harriet in the passenger seat this time, holding the hand of the man she once robbed. And that is the story of A Ride Forever. It teaches us that sometimes the worst first dates lead to the best endings. And maybe, just maybe, true love is the only thing you can't put a price tag on. What did you think of Solomon's decision? Would you marry someone who stole your TV? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, drive safe.